Welcome back to another episode of We Don't Have a Name Just Yet, but it's your boo's favorite chef. I am Chef Andrea, and today we're cooking a Wagyu ribeye chimichurri steak. All right, now if you are not familiar with Wagyu steak, it is one of the most prestigious meats out there. It comes in all different kinds of cuts. Its marbleization is what people fall in love with. I've even heard of the cows getting massages, so we're gonna cook this bad boy up. We're gonna add some very good chimichurri on it, and we're gonna see what it's hitting for. And this is what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to that marbleization. Now, don't get me wrong, there are other top grades of Wagyu where the marbleization is just through and through. I mean, the ratio for the fat to meat is very different, but this is a pretty good grade, and we're going to see what we got. So first, we're going to start with our chimichurri sauce. Right now, I have a nice head of parsley. We're going to chop this up very fine. And a lot of people use this in a food processor. I don't have one on me right now. Plus, I kind of like cutting my food up. Helps me to be one with my food. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with knife techniques, anytime that you're chopping or dicing something, well, I should say anytime you're dicing something, the further you bring your knife, the bigger your chop. The lower you keep your knife, the smaller your chop. Oh, and by the way, I have gotten some requests to do some episodes on knife skills, so be on the lookout for that as well. All right, we're going to go in with our fresh garlic. See, I have some fresh garlic cloves here. You only need about, for this amount that we're doing, you only need about 1 or 2, but I know the garlic warriors are going to be like 3 or 4, and it's your preference. But just keep in mind of whatever you put in, the majority, that's what you're going to taste. And for this chimichurri, we want an even balance of flavors. And if you don't have fresh garlic, minced garlic is fine as well. Remember, we're back at an eagle's claw. We want to keep our fingers. We don't want to look like Uncle Joe in them. And we're going to add that in. There we go. Next, we're going to go in with oregano. I'll say about 1.5 tablespoons. They may look like a little more. You know how we do it. Use it till your ancestors say stop. Red wine vinegar. Say about a teaspoon. Half a tablespoon of that. Then we're going in with olive oil. Shredded pepper. And if you have fresh chili pepper, that is good as well. Definitely make sure you get your salt in there. Maybe about a teaspoon. And we're going to stir it up. Ooh, look at that coming together. Nice color. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Nice. I'm loving the way this is looking. Chimichurri is one of my favorite garnishes. What is it? Is it a garnish? Is it a sauce? I don't know, but all I know is that you put it on anything, it's going to be good. So we're going to give her a test. Perfect. All right, so we're going to set that aside. All right, now we're going to take this beautiful Wagyu ribeye and we're going to season that up. Salt and pepper on both sides. Usually for a steak, I'll use my Montreal steak seasoning, but because this is such a precious Wagyu, I didn't want to taint the flavor. I wanted as much natural flavor as possible. And make sure you get those edges nice and seasoned with any leftover salt or pepper on your board. You ever notice that some people are afraid to season their steaks? I'm like, man, just add the salt and pepper. If I can't see it, it ain't there. Hey, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest episodes, cooking shows, tutorials, and you never know what surprises I might slide in there as well, all right? Back to the show. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our pan hot. We are initially looking for a nice hot smoking pan. We're going to also add in our grapeseed oil. And like I said, we're going to get it at a medium high heat. Once the pan starts to smoke, That's when we know we're ready to go in with our steak. All right, now that we're just about smoking on our skillet, we're ready to go in with this nice steak. Oh yeah. Make sure you give a nice press down. We want that steak going into a smoking pan so that ensures that we have a beautiful sear on our Wagyu. All right, so the temp that we're looking for on this beautiful Wagyu is a mid-rare medium. I wouldn't suggest going any lower than medium. If you go any lower than medium, you might as well be eating a tire or a shoe or something. Because this steak is so thick, waited about 2 minutes. So we're gonna give it a nice flip. Ooh, yeah. Very nice crust on there. Beautiful sear. All right, now that we flipped our steak, we're gonna go in with the thyme. We're also gonna go in with the butter. And a lot of people use rosemary, use whatever you have. And we're gonna continue basting this bad boy. Nice. I'm gonna give it another flip. Woo, look at that. Look at that crust. And we're gonna do the same thing as we did to the first side. Just baste it up on that butter. Make sure we get that fat. Render the fat. If anybody knows what render the fat, if you don't know what render the fat means, it just means cook the fat, sear the fat. All right, time to take our steak out. And we're gonna let that rest for about 10 minutes. All right, the moment we've been waiting for. Let's go on in and cut this bad boy up. Bad boy is nice, sexy, and hot. Caliente. Tienes caliente. Well, tienes me, I am, and I am, but not me, the steak. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Beautiful. Nice. All right, let's get this bad boy on the plate with some chimichurri. We're gonna go in with our chimichurri. Now tell me that don't look right. Oh, and you can never have too much chimichurri. Nice. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is your Wagyu ribeye chimichurri steak. All right, and just to let you guys know, I haven't been eating meat for 3 weeks, but because this is a Wagyu ribeye, we can go ahead and dibble and dabble just for today. All right, let's go in and taste it. Yes, Lord. Yeah. We make some good tacos with this. And actually, just a fun fact, when I first started out my business and I started cooking on the side of the, not the side of the road, but long story short, I had a little business deal where I was cooking outside. This was probably the second meal that I ended up making was the chimichurri steak taco. So that way you know I know what I'm doing. The steak melts in your mouth like butter.